Imprisoned in an iron cage, endless ants crawled beneath his lower body, entering his anus through tubes and gnawing his organs. But that wasn't enough. In a blink, Jesse was engulfed in roaring flames again, experiencing the agony of fire throughout his body. He was locked up in a narrow wooden barrel again, filled with countless mice. The only reason he was being so abused was simply because he refused to assume God's position. When Genesis fled heaven, Guardian Adai promptly reported and promised to God. But unexpectedly, God, fearing the interests of Genesis, directly broke heaven and fled. Heaven was leaderless for years as hell repeatedly invaded. Thus, Adai wanted Jesse to assume the divine throne and become God. As a missionary serving God, facing the divine throne, saying he wasn't moved must be false. Jesse's trembling hand touched the throne and immediately saw himself after gaining infinite power. But though tempted, Jesse couldn't accept it and did decisively refuse. To his surprise, everything vanished. Instead, the unique holographic projection of hell appeared. God not only killed him with a nuclear bomb, but also cast his soul into the ground. After enduring a series of tortures, Jesse remained unyielding as a mysterious figure breached hell, kicking open his cell door. It was a saint coming to rescue him. The saint rode a horse and led him out of hell. Along the way they rested by a bonfire. The saint was very curious. Does God treat Jesse like this? Will he begin to question God and abandon his previous devotion? Jesse listened as saints condemned him righteously, acting as if he were doomed to hell. Gradually he sensed something wrong since saints usually drew guns on meeting and rarely spoke so much. They had always failed to manage Highway 11. How could they now rescue him on horseback without being discovered by Jesse? The false saint loudly urged Jesse to swiftly ascend to God's throne. All of it was hallucination. Still trapped in his illusion, Jesse refused Adai's urging to sit on God's throne and end everything, believing the current God was flawed and less perfect than his envisioned pure land, yet more unqualified. Upon witnessing Jesse's refusal once again, Adai gave direct orders for him to be forcibly seated upon the powerful throne of God. Jesse Live. Jesse crawled unexpectedly from the pit Tulip dug, resurrecting with lifeless eyes. The revived Jesse remained fierce, unsure if reality or illusion. So he walked aimlessly forward until God appeared before him driving that RV. Upon seeing God, Jesse became overwhelmingly excited, guessing that all of this was God's test. Having resisted temptation, he clearly passed the test. Jesse began to pillage, so God no longer needed to disdain and restarted. God looked at his missionary and smiled kindly. He hugged Jesse and said, "Yes, you almost passed the test successfully." Suddenly, Jesse forcefully pushed him, refusing to accept God's protection. "How did you fail the test?" "God confirmed your failure, but merely thinking about it is sinful." Jesse stared at the Lord he'd longed for, and God's next move astonished him. Ming Pao, Canada. Ming Pao, Toronto. Did your father grow this plant especially to give to you? Saying that, he grabbed Jesse and then forcibly bit off one of his eyes. I am considering this matter right now. God expressed deep disappointment with humanity and decreed its destruction. The new world will introduce new creations, destroy this era's products, and initiate change with a snap of his fingers. Sent Jesse near Tulibi to let him properly enjoy his final moments. Meanwhile, in the Holy Grail Fortress, the Holy Sun Messiah, released earlier by Jesse, was returned by Stahl. Only waiting for the apocalypse day when the Holy Sun Messiah takes the stage, all the world's nuclear missiles will launch to cleanse this increasingly faithless land and its greedy, selfish bipeds.